author Q&A and our raffle winners, which I haven't actually taken the names off, so I'm going to be doing that. You've got Tashneek, you've got Toya, you've got Louie, you've got Isaiah Palomo, you've got Victor Sims. Hey Louie, I literally just said your name because you're one of the people in the raffle. So let me just cut that off. How are you, Louie? Are you in London? Or not? And I'm really just chilling. I got the Fostering Success sweatshirt on, which that's actually the first gift in the raffle that we will be. Actually, that's the second one that we're doing today. I didn't even know I was in. I just came on because I love YouTube. I literally just said your name, and then I saw Louis Gasper is watching, and I'm like, that's crazy. Hey Nick. But yeah, I'm just like cutting off the names of people so I can get that in the raffle. But while I do that, I'll go ahead and answer some questions. One of the questions is, how did you get started writing? So I got started writing, well, first of all, I've been writing since I was a kid. I used to do a lot of like poetry, and I used to do a lot of fiction writing. So that was super fun. When I was a kid, I got a lot of like awards for writing, fiction writing. And just the stories that I would come up with, they were very entertaining, and in my class and also in my school I got awards. So I've always kind of been a writer. I published my first poetry book in collaboration with the Raleigh Arts when I was 19, and then my second book was in collaboration with the Empty Frames Initiative, and that was in 2018. Well, it wasn't officially published until this year. So I really got started writing when I was a kid. It's actually funny now that I think about it, because like in 3rd grade, I remember like, because my family moved so much, like I was tired of doing all these different types of homework, and like it was just always like extra. I remember having like this huge backpack of like, I don't know, it felt like a ton of bricks, but just like these really thick textbooks that I would have to bring with me back home for homework. And I remember one time when I was in 3rd grade, I decided I was not going to do my homework, and it was actually a creative writing assignment, and my mom actually did the assignment for me. And the teacher immediately knew it wasn't my handwriting, and immediately knew like that was not me. And it's crazy because ever since then, like I've always loved doing homework, and then I always just have been writing. So it's kind of crazy how that even started. How I started writing like this particular book, the Black Foster Youth Handbook, and when was the beginning of this year. I had the idea back in 2016, but I actually started like formatting it and like trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to say and how I wanted to say it in the beginning of this year, February. And after that, I just started writing, and I had no method to the madness. I was just writing to write. And that's kind of how I got started. I just literally got a notebook, a regular notebook, and I just started writing. So that's what I would recommend, you know, not for anyone, but for people that are just like, I just have to get this on paper. So definitely recognize, like, are you a writer? Are you not a writer? What do you like about writing? And then just go ahead and get started. hopefully you guys can hear me, because I just realized that the thing is okay. Cool. I think you can hear me. So that's how I got started. Second question: who was your team and who helped you with marketing? So this is actually a frequently asked question. I didn't have a team. As far as the background of like who helped me write, I wrote it myself. People have a lot of questions around like, you know, how do you get started? Should you get a ghostwriter? I think, you know, to each their own. But for me personally, I knew I had to tell my story from my perspective, and like I had to like do it. And this is a handbook for young people, and there was no way that I was gonna like find someone to write that for me. So so, you know, it ended up being just like me writing it, and that was not easy at all. It was very much like, I need to focus on getting this done, and by any means necessary, this handbook for young people in foster care is going to get done whether I feel like it or not. So I realized I really had to be disciplined, and I was going to really have to figure out, you know, what is a good time for me to write. And I think that goes into the next question, which is, what was your writing schedule like? I didn't have a writing schedule. Like, I saw a lot of videos on YouTube, and when I talked to different authors, they were saying that they had a writing schedule where, you know, they would write 3,000 words, what was it, a week or a day? And I was just like, I don't know who's doing all that, but like for me, I have to have the creative juices flowing for me to write. And so honestly, I write all the time though. So prior to that, I actually started I started a challenge for myself to write in my journal every single day for 60 days. And that actually was a lot easier than I thought. Like, I would just wake up and I would have my journal and I would just write. Like, and next thing I knew, like, I filled up 5 notebooks in like probably less than 2 months, because 2 months is about 60 days. And so I was like, wow, like if I can do this, I can definitely write a book. Like, if I can stay consistent and fill up like 5 notebooks, I can write a book. And so after I did that, that was last year in the fall, well, summer and fall. And after I did that, I was like, okay, well, now I just have to write. And from there, I didn't actually have like a writing schedule, but I just sat down and I made sure I had a notebook and I just wrote. And from there, after a certain point, I transferred everything to document, like a Google Doc, and that was not fun. Like, that was a lot, because you have to have the patience to like sit and like type. So in hindsight, I probably should have started on a Google Doc, but I didn't. I started writing probably halfway through the book, and the book is 400 pages. So the book is 400 pages and halfway through the book, right, I'm writing it, I'm handwriting it. And then I think about it and I'm like, wait, I need to actually put this on Google Doc, because then, you know, for my editor and whoever I want to read it and stuff, it'll probably be easier that way than taking pictures of it. So taking pictures of the manuscript. But yeah, so hopefully that answered that question. How did I stay motivated? That was another question that I got. How did I stay motivated to actually finish writing this book? Like I said, I've been writing since I was a kid, so it wasn't necessarily like a really hard thing to do, but I think the topics of what is discussed in this book was difficult to convey, because I realized that I have no idea who's going to be like reading this book. I mean, preferably young people in foster care or the supportive adults, but like the reality, right, it could be anyone in the world. So it was hard for me to write it in a way that wasn't necessarily very angry. I think in the very beginning stages, like talking about trauma, talking about like pain, talking about people that have done me wrong, I feel like the narrative, the way it came out, was very like negative. Like I was angry, and so I think what kept me motivated was thinking about the young people that are currently experiencing foster care, and the young people that, you know, didn't necessarily experience foster care but experienced childhood trauma, poverty, and are currently experiencing that. Domestic violence, young people that are falling into domestic violence and different forms of abuse. And so thinking about that, I was like, you know, this book has to get done. Like I can't go back and forth about it. I'm not going to move my date. It has always been September 29th of 2020, and by September 29th it will be out. Whether it's fully done or not, it's going to be out. And so I think what happened was, in book pages, my book was initially over 800 pages in book pages, and I realized that I had a whole other book in the original manuscript, and so I cut it in half and I completely reframed it after talking to different people and my editor and stuff like that. And that's how, you know, the book has come to what it is today. So it's definitely been a journey, but I would say hands down, young people in foster care currently experiencing foster care, and the thought of that they can be aging out in the most horrible circumstances, which is what's happening right now, the global pandemic of, one, healthcare, but secondly, the global pandemic of race. I realized the Black Foster Youth Handbook is needed right now, and is needed, was needed even when I was in care, but definitely right now. And so I realized, like, I can't stop. I have to push forward, even if I'm tired, which I was so many times. You know, even if I'm faltering as far as like just dealing with the trauma that's coming up, because I'm talking about it, because I'm writing about it, and I'm thinking about it. And I was like, okay, like, I'm still gonna have to finish this book. And so that's really what motivated me. Next question. What are some of the steps to publish a book? So let me grab that notebook, because I actually have a notebook full of things here. Every foster child needs a handbook. Our rights are often never told to us. Yes, and I actually do have, let me just finish ripping this. But I actually do have in the book our rights as foster youth and the sibling bill of rights, because I feel like we should have that on hand. So let me just finish ripping this. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. Like, I wish I knew my rights when I was in foster care. Like, that would have been amazing. So in the beginning of the book, I actually talk about that. Where is it at? Yes, so this is the sibling bill of rights in here. See if you guys can see it. Okay, so right in here is going to be the sibling bill of rights. And it also has just a regular bill of rights. It has some frequently asked questions about, you know, foster care, like what is a foster parent or a resource parent. I don't know if you can see that, but this is like in the beginning, because I think like there's just some information that you need to know like offhand. So there's like, you know, I feel sad and sad and alone, who can I call? So it talks a little bit about, in the book I talk a little bit about just like who to call when you feel sad or if you feel alone, and those types of things, who to reach out to. And And then, you know, list your emergency contacts. This is all in the very beginning of the book. So, yeah, there's a lot of information here. Okay, so the question was, what is the first step? What are some of the first steps to publishing a book? And so I'm gonna go through, like, I created like this cool little thing here, and it's like 2 pages, just like on the back, which I will definitely go through at another time and maybe make it like digital so that way people can download it. But essentially your first 3 steps are, first you want to have a mind map, so, or just a brain dump. So you want to just like grab a piece of paper, like a blank piece of paper. I like these types of piece of paper because it just, I don't like the lines. I'll use a line sometimes, but for the most part, like, I use journals that are like blank because I feel like I have more creative, I don't know, space to just like draw and write and all the things. So I like this better than lines, but you know, whatever works for you. So the first 3 steps, as you see, the first step is mind map. So first is mind map, or just writing out all the ideas that come to your mind. For me, that really helped me, like just having a clear canvas and just writing down everything, and it looked completely jumbled. I don't know if I have it in here because I had created a different one that, well, I'll show you one of my mind maps. This is not a brain dump, but this is a mind map, and this is from my business. So this looks crazy, doesn't it? That looks crazy. But that's how it's supposed to look, and then you get it more refined, right? So that's the first step, is really just getting it all on paper, so that way like it's out of your head and you're not like constantly thinking about it and it's bouncing around in there. It's actually like from out of your brain and on paper. And then the second one is choose your framework. So how would you, like, what is the purpose of you writing this book? You know, is it a memoir? Is it a tool? You know, what do you want out of this book? Like, what do you want your reader to get out of this book? And then who is your ideal reader? Who are the people that you would want to pick up the book? And it can't be everybody, so don't say everybody. But it can be everybody as far as like the people that actually read it, but you yourself have to get clear on who you want your reader to be. For me, I knew it was young people in foster care. So, you know, very specifically young people of color in foster care, because they will more than likely greatly relate to my experience, because I myself was a young person who experienced foster care. However, anyone can benefit from the book. You kind of get what I mean? So that's number 2. And number 3, third step would be, well, it says check your framework, so I'll just lump that with number 2. But number 3 is create your outline. So how do you want your book to be, right? So for instance, my outline of my book is pretty much, well, this is the cover, but on the inside, it's kind of like, let's go to, okay, we got lesson 9, which is you can define success for yourself. So lesson 9, page 124. So I knew I wanted to do it as lessons, right? So my framework is like, or my outline is like the lesson, my story that relates to the lesson, and then at the end, like questions. And so it has like a bunch of like information here, which is like the 7 P's to success. And then like at the end of this lesson, there's questions. I am success questions. So that's something that would be very helpful for you, is to know like, okay, I know that maybe I want to do a memoir, and in my memoir I want it to be more reflective, so I'll add a question here and there within my memoir, so that way when people are going through my story, they can also, you know, ask themselves and see how they relate to the story as well. So yes, that is 5 questions that I had on there. If you all have any questions, then definitely drop them down below, because those were the main questions that I got over and over, and I hope that the information I gave you was helpful. At this time, I'm gonna go ahead and start with this raffle. Hey, Deshaun. Then I have another one, but I'm gonna have to cut those out individually as well. So this one is for, what is this one for? A free signed copy. And this is for everyone that, this one is for the people that joined the launch party and was having a great time with me, that, you know, shared a lot of love and shared it out to their Facebook. So I put on the end of that launch party that those that shared it, I was going to have a raffle. So as a woman of my word, here's the raffle. So for this is going to be for one free signed copy, and for the person that this is the winner, then I will need your address so that way I can send you your copy. I'll be sending out more copies tomorrow, actually. So we're gonna shake it up, and then we're gonna find out who the winner is of a signed copy. How do you guys think about my sweatshirt though? Fostering Success. I have that on my website as well, and in our next raffle, someone will be able to win that. We're just gonna shake it up and down now. Okay, let's see who the winner is of a signed free copy. I'm not gonna look because I don't need anybody. Thank you, Deshaun. I don't need anybody saying that I'm cheating. All right. Stephanie Robinson, you will get a signed copy of the Black Foster Youth Handbook. Please send me your address. I'll probably hit you up if you're not on here yet. But you know what? I'm feeling generous. So I'm gonna go ahead and do another one. So Stephanie Robinson is the first winner. And let's do another signed copy. So now I'm just shaking it with my hand. This is actually really fun for me. Oh, by the way, this is my poem back here. I actually designed this. This is the Still Here poem. Let's see. Yeah, this is the Still Here poem, which is in the Black Foster Youth Handbook. And yeah, that's gonna be available for purchase as well. There are a lot of people that have framed theirs. Unfortunately, I have not framed mine yet, but it looks amazing when it's framed. All right, so let's find out who the winner is. Louis. All right, so let's see. Matt Anderson. Matt Anderson. Oh, I probably should have showed the other one. Oh no. Okay, you can kind of see Matt. I hate when that happens. Okay, to the side, you can see to the side. All right, so Stephanie Robinson, Matt Anderson. And you know what? I feel like doing another one, so let's just do another one. Like, I really do. Okay, let's see. I think actually with this one, what I'll do is I'll throw in one of these, which is the I Am Success wristband and Fostering Success. So actually I'm wearing it. I think I'm wearing it. Okay, I'm wearing it. Okay, yes. I'll throw that in as well. So let's see who's winning that. Let's see. All right. We've got Toya Braxton. Toya Braxton, you are the winner of a signed copy and the I Am Success Fostering Success blue wristband. All right, so we have our 3 winners for that, and I have to now cut out these people for the GoFundMe one, so that should be interesting. But yeah, while I do that, I'll just talk to you all about the writing process. So, you know, writing a book is a lot. If you're writing about your personal story, especially, I think. Like, I hear a lot of people talk about writing a book that is, about marketing or food or, other things that don't necessarily talk about really rough topics like trauma, which is so great, just so great. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. It's actually not great. Like, I think when you're writing about trauma, you can easily get like taken back into that moment. Hi, Vanessa. And so I think that's what makes it difficult, is because like you're constantly navigating like healing from that trauma, and then when you're writing about it, you're like going back in time. Like, I found myself so many times like having dreams about the situations I was writing about, or I didn't even write about it, but because I even opened the door to, to talk about my stories, I would have flashbacks of things. And actually, I'm still having flashbacks of things, honestly. Like, it's like weird, because I know like that was my story and like different things happened. And I don't talk about everything in this book. I have a lot more books coming, okay? But it's just writing the handbook. I think it was me in between being who I am today, and then also remembering who I used to be and what I needed at that time. So it's weird, because going back into those moments, I realized there was a lot of things that I forgot. Like, there was a lot of things that happened to me and things that I did that I completely forgot about, because I've changed a lot. I've grown into who I am today, and it did not take this was not an overnight process. With healing, I think is also shedding a lot of who you used to be in order to become healed, and understanding the new versions of yourself and the next steps that you need to take to go even farther. And as a person that didn't see myself living past 18 at one point, I just didn't see myself living past 18. I didn't see how it was going to be possible. And so now that I'm 24, I'm going to be 25 next year. I'm, married, and I'm back in my birthplace in California. And I think about those things, and I'm like, I really can't, how did I get here? Some days I really think that. I'm like, how did I get here? How did I get to this place where, I'm genuinely at peace, Sometimes like I said, I do have flashbacks of my past, but it's not like this deep sorrow and loss of hope. It's just kind of looking at it wow, that was really my story. I really went through that. And there's people that are going through that right now. So, yes, Deshaun. And so it's weird, I think, because it's like a paradigm that I recognize anyone can go through, and anyone has the strength to go through, and they have to invite it as well. You have to invite the healing. You have to invite, that you might not ever go back to who you wish you were. When I was 16, I wanted a lot of different types of things, and I wanted different people in my life. And I often talk a lot about the relationship that I have with my mom, and it's not great. We don't have a relationship. There is no relationship. We don't talk. She blocked me on all social media and her phone. And when I was 16, at that point in time, I really wanted to have a mom, and I wanted to have that relationship where it was a mother-daughter relationship, and we go out for smoothies, and I'm able to tell her about everything and all the things. And I think at this point in my life, healing is non-linear, hard, messy, but liberating. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, Mike, it's... Okay. We're gonna have to talk about that too. You said I understand that more than you know. Yeah, so we're gonna have to talk about that. And it's a lot. It's really hard some days, I think, about her. I think at this point though, it's not that I've like lost hope. I'm just seeing the reality of the situation. And not even just the reality, but the patterns. And it takes two, right, for every relationship. It takes all the people in the relationship in order for it to grow and to work and to be nurtured. And I feel like it's a one-sided relationship with her, so I don't ever see how, unless she in particularly wants to have a relationship with me, I really don't see how that like is going to be a thing. And it really sucks. Like the other day I was talking to a friend because I was just laying on the couch, and I was just like, for 5 hours straight I was just laying on the couch watching a show, but I was kind of like feeling really sad because I felt like, wow, like in a few years I'm going to, you know, decide to have children, and I'm going to decide to do all these different things, and there's going to be other milestones in my life. Like I just published a book, but you know, from my birth family I really haven't heard anything from them, not even a congratulations. And so, you know, just reflecting on that and thinking about that, and like, wow, like I don't think like when I have a kid, you know, would I even, questions for myself, would I even like want my mom to be around? Just from different things that has been done and said, and I don't know, it's a very heavy situation. So I don't know, I think like I said, a lot of times I just think to myself, how is that really going to be in the long run? And secondly, like, although there's these mishaps, I have so much that I'm grateful for, and there's so much, like so many people and so many strangers I don't even know that have been a part of my journey and supporting me, and you know, showing that they care and love me. So I'm just really grateful for that. And for the most part, most days I just focus on that, because otherwise, you know, I think if I focused on anything else or just the negative, I'd be pretty depressed. And like, we don't have time for depression, okay? Like, we need to, you know, focus on how we want to move forward in our life, and how we want to, you know, bring pure joy into our lives and other people's lives. And I think if we just mope around and focus on the negative, then, I mean, if we really want to focus on the negative, especially the state of this country right now, we can, I mean, at this point, just choose, like, pick anything at this point. Like, there's so many things to be negative about. So I just choose, I actively choose to not focus on the negative majority of the time. And with that, I'm done cutting up those things. So we are going to do the GoFundMe, people. So everyone that supported me in my GoFundMe to make sure the publishing process happened on time for the Black Foster Youth Handbook, which, yes, just yes. So everyone who supported me, thank you so much. There is now a handbook for young people in foster care. And again, 50 plus lessons I learned to successfully age out of foster care and holistically heal. And just like Vanessa said, healing is not linear. It's hard, messy, but liberating. And I definitely agree. In fact, in this book, there's 4 phases that I talk about in my Real Success model. And REAL is a acronym, so it's REAL. R is for roots, E is for envision, A is for ascension, and L is for liberation. And so we go through these 4 phases in the book about how to reach success, your version of success, and how you can begin to heal. And healing is a journey. It's not an overnight process. You know, there's still things that I'm healing from, because I realized that, wait, like, I can't just, you know, say in 5 minutes I'm gonna be healed from this if I just think hard enough. Like, it's not how trauma works. It's not it's not how it works at all. So, you know, we have to be patient with ourselves, and there's different layers to healing. There's some things that, like, I've definitely believed that I've been healed from, and I feel like, you know, I'm okay about it. But in my next season in life, there might be another layer to it that I have not uncovered, and it will reveal itself at that time. And, you know, I talk about, you know, being able to forgive yourself. I think that's like one of the biggest and hardest parts about trauma and healing is recognizing your part in it, even if you didn't have a part in it, and forgiving yourself for, not knowing all the answers, not having all the answers, and, doing what you needed to do at that time. I think a lot of us hold ourselves like hostage, and as far as like, am I really deserving of this good relationship? Am I really deserving of this type of or level of success? Because, I did all these horrible things when I was younger, or whatever it was. And the idea that I really want to hammer down is that, sometimes we do things in survival mode because that's what we needed at the time. Some things we just do in those moments because that's what we needed to survive at that time. And I think what makes us unhappy is sometimes when we hold on to either the idea of ourselves in survival mode, or two, just surviving still being in survival mode when you needed to transition into thrival mode, into thriving. And sometimes we don't have the space to do that. We don't recognize in our cognitive of, how do I really want to transition out of this survival mode, and whether that's finances, mindset, physical, or spiritual. So talk a little bit, well, not a little bit, I talk a lot about that in the book as well, and how we can really get to a point of liberation and legacy, and how we're giving back to our communities. With that, it would not have been possible without the help of those people that supported me in the GoFundMe process and my campaign. So just want to say thank you so much. And as promised, there is a raffle for you as well. I just put all the names in there. And I am now, what is this one for? Oh, this one's for this Fostering Success sweatshirt. So the winner will get a Fostering Success sweatshirt. It's hashtag foster care awareness. And on the back, I don't know if I'm gonna keep this poem here, but it's the poem, the Still Here poem. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it a little bit. Yeah. So I'm gonna see if that's really what I want to do moving forward, or if it's just gonna be fostering success, foster care awareness in the front, and then maybe, I don't know what it'd be in the back, but we'll get to that. All right, so let me know if you want the one with the poem in the back or not, and we'll get to that. All right, so go ahead, and that is also on my website. This is on my website. There's also some hoodies, there's mugs, I think there's a t-shirt on there too. Hey Joe. So we're gonna go ahead and find out who the winner of the Fostering Success sweatshirt is. Okay. Have you all ever been on a raffle and you saw somebody just shake it a little bit, and you're like, they didn't even shake it enough? So that's why I try to shake it crazy. Okay, let's see who the winner is. Jennifer McClafferty. I don't know if you can see that. Hey, Jennifer McClafferty. And you guys already know I feel very generous today. So let's go ahead. I'm going to be honest, I feel generous every day. So I don't even know why I said today. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and do another one. All right. Sweatshirt. Okay, Fostering Success. Let's find who this is. Uh-oh, Liza and Bert Weidel. Woo, you are the winners. Okay, so Jennifer McClafferty and Liza Burt, you will be getting a sweatshirt of Fostering Success, hashtag foster care awareness. And with that, I just want to say thank you all to everyone that joined this live. Don't forget to purchase your copy at www.fostercareyouthhandbook.com. Yay, Jennifer, such a deserving winner. Yes, she is. Yes, she definitely is. And so, don't forget to get your copy and your merch. If you're trying to get some Fostering Success merch, head over to the website. That was smooth, wasn't it? Congrats on the book. Just stopping by. Stay well. Thanks, Joe. We do have to get together as well on business stuff. But like I said, thank you to everyone that joined. Thank you for everyone who has pre-ordered in the past, that donated, that supported, that shared, that liked, that sent me empowering messages. You know who you are, you know what you did, and I appreciate you. Like I was talking about earlier, with my family, my bio family, it's a very interesting relationship. And what I've learned is that, I just have to create my own family, and that's what I have done. And, Louis, Soul Fam, and a lot of other people that show up and act like family. What does family really mean to me? Family means to me, people that are willing to show up and be nurturing and love you and care about you, without any conditions. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're perfect or I'm perfect, but because I'm definitely not perfect. But just willing to show up and love and support and share and care. And I think if there are people that aren't necessarily blood related to you, that maybe you should consider them your soul fam, and bring them on into the team. But yeah, so thank you again, and I hope you have an incredible rest of your Friday. And there will be definitely more raffles, so share this out, and you might be picked to be the next winner. So you never know. All right, so peace, love you all, and see you next time.